What up, G's? It's your boy Mirch back again with another video, and I just logged into the game, and this is what I'm looking at. So this is all great news. Like I said last time, it wasn't me, and just to show, I was right. It wasn't me. It was the other dudes. Um, anyway, while this is good for me because my contact summary is going up, getting close to that 10K. It's also bad for you guys because it means I'm getting less toxic teammates, less toxic idiots in my team, and while that's good for me, it's bad for you because it's going to be less entertaining. So it is what it is. And today I have some boring videos for you. It's just going to be me winning a lot. Um, Yesterday I had a good day, and therefore today is a good day because I'm back to Immortal, and that's amazing. Now I got this yesterday, as you can see, earned Immortal yesterday. It's the second time. It's not my first time. Last time I got Immortal was back in November last year, and it's almost been a year since I've been Immortal. Then I took a long break, and anyway, it doesn't really matter. As you can see, I won quite a bunch of games. I won like 10 games, 10 ranked games in a row, starting from the 15th, Mirana, and then I just couldn't lose. I lost 2 Invoker games because I suck at Invoker, but those were normals because I'm not griefing my MMR anymore. And with this said, it feels really great, and I feel really good because sometimes you just gotta get your shit together and win some games, because when you're losing games, it's not just like you're not just losing MMR, you're losing your sanity, you're losing your friends, your friendship, your girlfriend, your house, everything. It's like gambling, like depression kicks in, anxiety, you lose confidence, you're like start questioning yourself, what am I doing with my life? Is this worth it? I'm just wasting my time, this and that. And then it feels so good to just be back and not worry about any of that anymore until next week when you end up losing five times in a row, and then you're like, I hate my life. But not today. Today we love life. So I want to show you some games. And by the way, this is the second time I'm showing this because the first time it took me 30 minutes before I realized microphone wasn't on. So it is what it is. We're just gonna have to do it again. Um, However, this time I know what I want to show and what I don't want to show. And this first game is really interesting. I'm playing Ogre in here. Not Hero Chase, player view, Ogre. So the reason why this game is pretty interesting is because I'm playing against Enigma, and I am playing, I want to say super aggressive, but it's not that aggressive. But I don't care about my HP. I'm just trading to like kill the Eidolons. I want to give my dude a good level 1. So the problem is that my dude wanted to block this camp, and he was asking me to block the camp, but I didn't do it. So the question is, do you guys think I should have blocked this camp? Because my reasoning is that since I'm playing against Enigma, and Enigma all she wants to do is deny creeps and get the lane close to her tower, I'm thinking if I don't deny, this is going to be in our favor. If I don't block the camp, it's going to be in our favor because I can just keep pulling. But Wraith King gets so mad that I'm not buying any sentries that he ends up buying his own sentry on his first courier, and he ends up blocking the camp, which, if you ask me, I think is retarded. So he sees me doing this, and he's like, he blocks the camp by himself. He body blocks the camp. So imagine the lane is pushed in his tower, perfect time for us to pull. He's blocking the camp. So I'm like, wow, this guy's retarded. But he keeps insisting that it's my fault. He was also yelling in the microphone in Russian, so I have no idea. But I'm curious to see what you guys think about this. If you think it's a good idea to block the camp, I personally think blocking was a bad idea. But we do end up getting the small camp because Tiny just disappears. So Tiny is not even part of this lane anymore for some reason. I'm not really sure what he's doing. But instead I just pull small camp over and over again, and we end up winning the lane. I'm going to use Ignite as much as I can on this lane to, kill these Eidolons. I try to go for the body block. It doesn't work out completely. I think about diving, but I'm glad I don't. And then I just go for the pull again. So I'm pulling once a minute because nobody's like contesting this. So I think that's totally fine with us. I would have preferred to pull the big camp, but it is what it is. Anyway, ends up getting denied by the slam, the tomato slam, which is unfortunate. And then I decide to go for Earn, even though it doesn't bring me necessarily any crazy value in the lane. I'm going for Urn because they have Alchemist and I want to rush the Vessel because no one in my team kind of wants to go for Urn anyway. Like maybe Batrider could go for a Vessel, but I'm like, I'm gonna go and I'm just gonna rush it just because whenever I get it around 20 minutes, that's when Alchemist is gonna be really strong. So if we don't let Alchemist win the game, it's gonna be quite easy. So that's pretty much it. This is a 2v1 lane, so I'm just playing in the side, trying to pull as much as I can. So I just wish this 7-minute pull we just did right now would have been a lot faster. And then I went for the OG pull where you pull big and then you pull small, but I was too slow because I wasn't aware that I could do it until I was too late. So now my carry is level 6. Enigma's level 6, so they're the same XP even though the guy's denying every range creep. So then I go for the double stack pull. And there's not really much happening in here. We get a kill. I go for the stack and then I go mid lane. Because I know, like, once we get the kill, I know that I don't have to sit on the lane anymore. Easy kill on Tiny. So I'm just gonna sit mid as much as I can. They take bottom tower, but I can't really defend, so I'm just chilling here. My team's doing some crazy shenanigans top, but as long as the mid lane is like free, I was gonna farm it until I get enough money for my energy booster. So I get mana boots. Now I have mana boots. I'm in here, and we're gonna spend a lot of time here on this lane. I'm just using my spells there all the time. You know, I'm pretty tanky. I have Urn, really strong combo, Weaver Grimstroke. And we're like, okay, going for the tower. I go for the pool. We end up taking the tower, so now I'm just vibing here. They do some. I'm very slow on Ogre, so I don't necessarily want to move out of this lane. I'm just applying pressure, you know, like I have Urn charges, so as long as I have Urn charges, I'm just gonna go for the harass. Make sure that if these guys want to join fights, they're half HP, and we make it really hard for them. So I just want to show that so far I haven't bought one ward, I haven't bought one smoke, and I haven't bought like any sentries or anything. And it's because you just don't need to. You know, sometimes you don't need to. A lot of you guys, like, you know, we're playing lanes, so we don't necessarily need that extra vision. We have like one ward here, so Grimstroke bought that. That's really good. You know, our mid lane bought his own ward for the mid lane, but so I don't have to necessarily do it. They could do it themselves. Going for that vessel. With 3-man black hold. But I'm super tanky, and when the, you know, getting the triple. So this is really good so far. And I've just been here, you know. I don't have to do much. I'm 006. I'm maxing my damage spells because I want to do as much damage as I can. I want to fight a lot. I don't necessarily care. Like, we're not going to out farm this alchemist, so I'm not trying to empower people. He ends up going for me. We get the TP from Batrider with the DD. Cast all the spells on him. He ends up dying. And this is pretty much GG because he rage buybacks. And I think we take one more fight here. No, it's not here. It's the next fight. This Enigma blinks in aggressively on me. Crazy. I hit him with the vessel. Whack him 1-2, tanks the creep, and dies. So I'll take that trade anytime, boys. And even though Alchemist is 13k, you know, as Battle Fury, my Wraith King, which I abandoned mid at 9, he's 10k, he's doing really great. He has insane GPM, like 600 GPM or some shit already. We end up taking one more fight here, and Alchemist abandons the game. And that's pretty much GG. From here, we just go on and end the game in like the next 5 minutes. So, you know, fairly simple, you know. I bought 2 smokes at the end, and I didn't even get to use them, and that's all the support items I bought. Like, if you look here, you know, there's really no need to buy more when, you know, you're not going to use them. You play on lanes anyway. So I just played really greedy, and that was pretty much it. So that was a pretty easy game. Then I go on to playing what's next, PL. I want to show you this PL game. So this PL game feels pretty good because they don't have much to kill me. I like PL into Venomancer because you can doppelganger the Gale, the slow. So that's always good. You have your own self-dispel, and then you kill wards quite easily with your Phantom Rush because you do quite a lot of damage. So I think PL is pretty good into Venomancer. And if everything goes really bad, you can go Hood of Defiance, which is really good against Veno as well. So, but that wasn't the case this game. I was planning on it, but I ended up not doing it. This lane, my Treant Protector does pretty well. So, like, the only two things that I want to show you in this game that I think are pretty worth it is the level 1, which I thought it was really good. So I see this Axe has his passive Counter Helix level 1, so I'm not trying to fight him too much. And then this was really good, I think. Like, he comes a little bit too aggressive, and we both use, you know, my spell with Treant Protector's Q to do a lot of damage. And this happens quite a few times in our game. In this game, like, one time on Venomancer, 1-2 times on Axe, and then like you give yourself a fighting chance. Like, see here as well, we try to use our spells together so we can end up doing as much damage as possible. Force them to buy more salves. You know, if they have to spam 1-2 salves, if they have to use 1-2 salves instead of straight up rushing that Vanguard and it delays it by 1 or 2 minutes, then it's pretty good. So you see here again, he uses this. I can't really follow up, but at least I'm getting free farm. So I think that was pretty good. Other than that, I have a pretty good lane because this Treant went for the Sentry, denied, and then just keeps pulling over and over again. So we end up going even in lane, and considering Axe is quite a counter to PL, I'm quite happy with even in lane. Like, even in lane is pretty good for me. So one more thing that I wanted to show in this game, because I think it was really good, is when my team once starts fighting bottom. So I'm here, I'm farming my Manta, you know, I'm just chilling. I'm having a pretty good game. I'm 1-0-1. I just try not to die, and I see my team is getting ready to fight. Now I know they're all there because, first of all, they're all missing, so they have to be bottom, behind the Axe. So I see my team is fighting, and then I'm like, I decide to TP. I could split push here, but I'm not pushing that fast, so I just end up deciding to TP. We get the first kill on Gyro, and then I'm thinking about canceling. But then this Invoker gets a really crazy combo on these guys, so I'm glad I don't. I go for the Venomancer because they don't really have anything. I get tornadoed. So as you can see, I'm just like focusing on the target that's close to me. I'm not trying to do any crazy stuff here. Get the kill on this guy. He misses the taunt. I just kite him up. I purge him with the Diffusal. We end up canceling the TP, and then we get the kill. And right now I'm 4-0-1. We had to use buyback on Bloodseeker, but we do end up getting all the kills. And now I have 2 items pre 20 minutes, so I'm like just as fed as I would be on Anti-Mage kind of. And here I wanted to show this as well because I'm pushing for the Ancients. So whenever I don't care about this tower, instead I'd much rather take the Ancients away from them. So that's something that if you want to do, you should try to do. Here I think we try to get some more kills, but it doesn't really... we dive this guy. And here we end up disengaging. And that's pretty much it. So now I'm 5-0, and I have 2 items, and then I just end up going for some... I think from here is just smooth sailing our way to victory. As you can see, I ended up getting Tarask after, and then I was going for, I think it was Ethereal Blade. I'm not, oh no, I dived Fountain, so that's why I bought Ghost Scepter. So after I bought Tarask, we got Roche, and I got Shard, and then there wasn't really much they could do. I did most damage, 10-0-7. So after that fight bottom, it's kind of where, you know, the game, like, this is where we fought bottom. I went from 8.5 to 908 9.8 in like 2 minutes. And from there, it was smooth on sailing. They didn't really have much to do against me. I would have went Butterfly or Scotty next. And then this KSI guy couldn't do anything. He was 0-7, so this was a pretty easy game. Next up, I have a Slark game. This is where I played with my boy John Bagger. He carried us pretty hard. This was a pretty slow game. There's nothing really too interesting to go into this game. I played Slark. My Slark is a little bit sketch. I feel like I died 1 or 2 times in this game, and that kind of slowed my game a little bit too much. If you look at my performance, player net worth, where am I? So like I died here once, and that slowed me up, and then I think I died here one more time, and that kind of slowed me down. So it took a long time for me to kind of catch up into this game. But eventually I did end it up, and they had like 3 carries. So they had anti-mage mid, Sven's safe lane, and off lane Weaver. So that was pretty good. They were doing quite a lot of damage, and it was getting scary at some point. But at the end of the day, like, I don't know. They can't really do much. Like they don't have utility at all. They didn't have that much utility, so we just ended up kiting them a little bit. I went everything to just stop this anti-mage. I went Diffusal, I went Basher, and I went MKB to counter his. He was going for Butterfly, but I ended up killing his courier, so he never got it. But I went like these items before, and Diffusal's pretty good against Anti-Mage, Basher's really good against Anti-Mage, so my kind of job was just like, okay, we have Abaddon and Queen of Pain who can kind of like kite this Ven, and then if I just like lock down Anti-Mage, drain all his mana so he can blink away, and then keep him in place and bash him, then we're gonna win. And that's kind of how we won, so there's nothing really important to show in that game. Then I have this PA game, which is very interesting. I just want to show you some stuff that happened in the lane. So initially I thought the lane was going to go pretty rough, and then because I didn't necessarily like super tilt, we ended up winning the game quite easily. Player view, double click myself, speed up stuff. So I'm playing with Silencer on the lane against Snapfire Mirana, and right from the get-go it goes pretty bad because I get arrowed, and oof, this took a lot of my HP. So here I'm like, okay, this is gonna be rough lane, double ranged, but I'm playing the PA. It's all good. Silencer dies, and I don't have a salve. I don't have anything, so I'm like a little bit afraid. Comes back with a salve. God bless. And I'm thinking this is pretty rough, so I'm level 3, the other dude is going to get level 3 as well, and my Silencer is level 1. So I'm thinking this is going to be a rough lane, so I'm just going to try to like survive as much as possible. I get hit by another arrow, which is unfortunate, but I use all my stick, and he dives in, and he's actually not as tanky as I thought, because Silencer, the more he hits you, the more intellects he steals, and the more damage you take. So I buy myself another salve, just to have a good time. But I'm still pretty low when he TP's back, so he goes for me. I don't even have to end up using Fairy Fire, and here he dies again. I dodge the Sunstrike, and as soon as I dodge the Sunstrike, the guy just like rage buybacks. And by this time I'm like, okay, now we're having a game. Also, by the way, I'm starting to love this Belt of Strength first item, just because you survive a lot more. So I thought that was really cool. Ends up getting my courier, but it's not a big deal. And I think here is where we end up getting one more kill on this guy, and then this game is like completely over. I'm just trying to pull. I don't mind, like, if I have to get some denies here, get some creeps denied, then it is what it is. At least you're getting XP, at least you're not dying, and you're not like losing all your life. So over here, I see my Silencer going, so I'm slowing him down, and then I realize, holy crap, we have a lot of damage. The Silencer is doing so much work, and that was pretty much it with this lane. Now they can't really do anything. I don't even think he comes back to the lane. And that's pretty much it. Now I'm gonna go for my Battle Fury now. Alright, so not much is happening. I end up getting my Battle Fury, And while it's flying out to me, I see my team is trying to get mid, so I'm just joining them here. I get arrowed. This guy doesn't have ult, so he ends up dying. And then I'm like, okay, let's see what's happening here. And hold up, what's this? It's a juicy stack, dude. And then I ping my team, and I'm like, yo, boys, help me out. You know, because I don't have blur. I can take it by myself, but I don't have blur. I have a salve though, so I'm okay. And then we just end up taking like 5-manning this stack, which I'm totally okay with. I don't necessarily care about getting all this gold. So we all get this juicy stack, and I'm like, oh, this feels good. Their game is kind of over. Like, Wraith King is, you know, pretty sad himself. Walks into triangle, sees that his creeps are all dead, ends up dying, and, you know, he calls it. Rage buybacks, sells all his items, ends up buying Shadow Amulet, and then God bless Griefers, he just goes AFK. And then, you know, like 5 minutes from here, the game ends, so there's not really much to go over this game. And then lastly, we have the Monkey King game. Now, this Monkey King game was my last game. I was 1 away, so I was like, because I know that the threshold, by the way, is 56-20. So if you're 56-20, you're going to hit Immortal. So I was like 56-0-0. I know I'm 1 game away, and there's a lot of pressure in here. So let's see what happens, okay? Because there's a lot of pressure. I want to win, you know. I want to get it going. So here I'm playing Monkey King position 1. So I have a feeling Monkey King is pretty good. I'm not sure what happens here. I'm playing with Bane support, and there's no one on this lane. So I'm like, okay, I guess this is just a free lane. I really don't know what happened. I think they chased for the first blood. I really don't think it's worth. Like, if you're gonna do this, the guy who you're getting a kill on, because they have 2 kills, like, they better win their lane. Because now I'm level 2. I have 6-6 in last hits. I'm 8-6 now, 9-6. I'm level 2. These guys are both level 1. I go for the body block. I get my passive. So now I'm like, you know, this lane is giga over, you know. So there's not really much they can do. I rush the phase boots here just so I can keep attacking them. I keep getting my stacks up. I keep going for favorable trades. My guy comes back, gets the sleep on the guy, and we get a kill. Everything's going pretty well. So the reason why I saw they had a Night Stalker, so I wanted to pick a carry that can do well against Night Stalker, and I know Monkey King is pretty strong against basically all kind of range heroes, all kind of melee heroes in the lane, just because, you know, you're gonna get favorable trades anyway. And if you're like, he doesn't necessarily have any stuns, so you can never really get bursted down. So you always have time to get your stacks going. So I'm level 4 and they're level 2 and 3. No, they're actually 2 level 2. So all I'm trying to do is, oh, hold up. All I'm trying to do is like keep attacking them, but I also don't want to die, so I want to be careful here. I also still have regen, so I don't mind getting some hits. I see my dude is getting gone on. I fake the stun all the time. Nighttime. Get the kill on that guy. Proc again. So they come back to lane. Eventually they come back to lane. And I'm level 6 and they're level 3 and 2. So I'm just like trying to, you know, harass them as much as I can. Know that like, yo, if you're here on this lane, like you're gonna have to fight for this CS. Like, you're not just gonna get free CS like this. So I keep trying, and here my storm is like, hey, can we kill this guy? Can we kill this guy? And I really don't like this play. Because like, I don't get it. Why are we not going? I'm like, let's go on Rubik, and this guy just like zips in straight to Captain Jack Sparrow. And this is the worst. And then I see the TP, and now I'm like, okay, this is really bad. So we're getting super fucked. I'm keep canceling my animation because I'm terrible at the game. I think I missed the stun because I don't get procced. And then I'm like, I'm dead. And now my dude is dead. And then I look at the score and I see he's 0-3 and he's level 6. And then I'm like, we just threw the game. We just threw the game. Why am I doing, like, I'm having the freest game of my life. Look at me. I'm 44-20. I was having the freest game of my life. So then I just go ahead and mute this Storm guy. And this is like perhaps the worst Storm I've seen in a long time. So then I'm like, okay, I need to be a little bit more greedy and stop playing like a fool. And so at this point, like, I think the most important thing is to like mute this guy and realize that, you know, he's a terrible player and his decision making is only going to destroy me. So now I want to be careful because they have Tinker, but Tinker is dead. Well, I still want to be careful because at any point they can just like be 3-man on me. We end up going for the Rubik, we get the kill. Luckily, it ruined my lane. Like I kind of threw my advantage, but at the same time, like my Bane also had a really good game, and we didn't throw his advantage as well. So that was pretty good because this Bane ends up playing quite well, and it just goes to show that if you have like a decent position 5, like you're going to be able to have really good games. So I'm just farming my item here. I'm going for that Echo Saber, and I'm a little bit confused what I want to buy this game. Storm ends up dying again, no surprise. We're 4-on-1, he ends up dying. That's a classic move. And I'm thinking I want to go Diffusal just so I can kind of like slow them down and be annoying. But then I'm like, you know what? I want to keep up in farm with this mag. Let me see, net worth. So I'm thinking I want to keep up in farm with this mag. So I ended up going Maelstrom. And here, right after this happens, I'm like, okay, I think we win the game. But this Tinker is really annoying, my friend. Tinker is such a strong hero. We end up getting more kills. We get more kills. I'm going for the tower. So as you can see, like, I'm monkeying. I don't farm Ancients the fastest. So all I want to do is just chill. Big ult. We end up killing Tinker. So we're slowly getting back into the lead. And I'm feeling really good. But this is a game that takes a while. And after this, I want to get BKB because they have like really strong heroes. Tinker's always going to destroy me, so I just want to go for the BKB. It's looking great so far. We're 7k ahead. Now I can farm their Ancients. And here is where I think it all starts going down the drain. Oh, we get 2 kills. No, it's not here. It's further down. They don't know I'm here. We're getting a lot of kills. Like these early kills on Tinker help so much. I'm taking all the towers. So I think this is something that's really good to do. It's like when your team is like fighting and they're ahead and they're very strong and you know they keep destroying the enemy team. Like you want to go and kind of pressure somewhere else on the map. So here's where it goes to shit. My 2 dudes are dead. I don't have BKB, and I get outplayed by this Rubik so hard. And yep, and this is the throw. And I'm really starting to be sad about this Storm, you know, because he's not having a good game at all. So right now Storm is what, like he's 9-8. He died 8 times a Storm, dude. That's not good. And I'm like, holy crap, am I going to be strong enough to carry this game when I know what kind of shit Tinker's going to do? Grandmaster Tinker, he's still, like, I really hate people who are Grandmasters because they're really bad. Like, they have really bad understanding of the game, and the only reason why they win is because they know how to play the hero really, really well. But in overall, they have really bad understanding of Dota. At least that's my experience. What are your experiences with these guys? Like, I feel like they're super bad. It's like they can only play this one hero really well. And here, I have BKB. I pop this. I hit the stun on the sports. And for some reason, we can't really kill anyone. This one Force Staff is just winning the game. I get the miss on him, and then I think it's just GG. I go for the mischief play, and nothing happens. So we just got full wiped. I had BKB, so this is my power spike. I have BKB, and like nobody's dying, and we don't have any dusts. Like they got away because they have one Force Staff and the Shadow Amulet. So right here, I'm losing all hope in this game, man. And I'm like, well, I guess it just wasn't meant to be for me to get Immortal this game. And I'm like, oh crap, what do we do now? So then I go on full crazy mode. Well, I start flaming this guy a little bit, of course, because that's just what I do. But then I realize, okay, I just need to farm more and get more items, and then hopefully win like that. We still end up trading 1-for-1 sports here. Luckily, I know that Storm is really strong and really OP, like at level 25. So if we drag the game long enough, then we can maybe win the game. And now my team, like, they start spreading a little bit, and now I'm like, okay, this game is falling apart, dude. They see me here, and I'm like, how the fuck did they see me? And then I realized this Night Stalker hero is super strong. Like, this Night Stalker hero is so good with Tinker and team. Just because you end up, like, seeing everything, and you can spam rockets from, like, 5 kilometers away. So that's actually super crazy. I end up going for my item, finishing my item. My dude dies, you know, and we went from, like, look at this graph. Like, we went from this lead all the way here. And usually when this happens, the problem is that your team is gonna do this type of stuff. You know, this type of stuff is gonna happen when you're losing like that. When this kind of lead goes to down. And now I'm like, okay, now we're just falling apart. Nobody wants to buy smokes. You know, they're not buying smokes. We're not coming back into this game. It's just over. Like, this Storm is just griefing the entire game. So I can't really do much. I just need to farm. I'm going Scotty just because Scotty's a really good item, and I wanna be a little bit more tanky. I want to survive a little bit more. So I kind of know they're in where they are, so I'm just being very careful. And then here, they kind of stack a little bit. Pop the BKB. Really good ult by Disruptor. Go on this guy, he pops his BKB. And I'm a little bit careful, I don't want to like necessarily go high ground just like that because I know they have Tinker. And my team's doing fine, so we end up getting 2 kills and Roche. And I'm like, okay, maybe we're back. So sometimes, you know, when you're despaired, when despair is hitting you, be a little bit patient. Maybe you can come back into the game. Like, your team's doing mistakes, but so is their team. And we kind of got lucky because we had like one really good. We had a sentry there that killed. We spotted this Magnus in Invis, and then he got Bane ulted. So that was really good for us. And I give Storm Aegis just because Storm is really good with Aegis. They don't know I'm here, so I'm just waiting for them to kind of like show. We end up going for these kills. That's pretty crazy here. I'm actually surprised that I didn't die. I'm not gonna lie, this was super lucky. This was kind of lucky. Because I ended up popping BKB. Let's just watch it one more time. I want to BKB, but I'm a little bit greedy, so I don't end up BKBing. But I pop it BKB insta, and then I kind of survive. And because you know Monkey King self heals, I don't end up dying. So I think this was really good. And now we're back 8k in the lead. And now this is just like a very, very slow siege. We can't really do much because they have Tinker. So I'm going to farm. I end up getting Scotty. Then I want to go Satanic. So I just want to get myself as tanky as possible so I don't die to like few Tinker spells. We end up taking one good fight here, but none of them actually die. Only Night Stalker ends up dying. So this is really hard, but we keep going back in. I still have my Boundless Strike. But then stuff like this happens. I want to go for the Tinker, but I can't. But this guy will do. So I'm just like constantly in and out of fights, you know? Constantly in and out of fights, playing as best as I can. I'm going for that Satanic. So like I said, I just want to be tanky. I want to be tanky. I want to be able to lifesteal. I want to be able, like, if I can get my BKB, like, you know, as long as they don't burst me down, and then I can, like, Boundless Strike with Satanic, then we're going to be fine. We end up taking one more fight here, which is really good. You know, I have Scotty, so this guy can't really get away from me. We don't get the Tinker, but as long as we get everyone else, then I'm really fine. And now we're like 20k gold ahead. So it's pretty crazy. I'm not really sure how we got back into this game, but I guess it's like whatever you're fighting on whoever has the better wards. We can't really get to this guy because he's playing out of his mind. You can see I'm half HP. I'm just getting spammed with rockets. It takes forever to do damage to this tower. But they're all dead still. We have Tiny. So Tiny can do actual massive damage to this tower. I mistimed that. These guys, they try really hard. Tiny ends up popping his BKB. So kind of Tiny is what saves this game, because Storm is not really that good. Like if we go back to net worth, you know, it's me, Tiny, Tinker, and then Storm. I pop BKB, and I can't really move away from here. Or actually I can't. Never mind. He ends up buying back. I think I should have just like insta go back, but I can't move at this point anymore. But we forced the buyback on Tinker, so that's really good. I don't have buyback though, so this is a little bit sketchy. They get the Roche, unfortunately. Tinker gets the Roche. So these guys are super all-inning on this Tinker. Of course, Tiny ends up dying because like this happens all the time. So if you're watching, like something you can learn is like be a little bit more cautious, especially when, you know, don't throw your lead just like that and then go die just because whatever. I get a little bit of RNG here. So at this point, I'm thinking maybe Tinker's gonna come here. You know, maybe we can catch this Tinker. I don't know if they saw me crossing here, but whatever. And then I see Tinker here, and I went for the full trees, and I expect him to blink here, but he just never blinks. So I go for the stun, I go for this. Boom, I have Scotty. We end up getting the kill, and for some reason Disruptor doesn't want to place the ulti down. Oh, he does, never mind. What am I thinking? Anyway, we use everything on this guy, and he's dead for 120 with no buyback. Wait, so do we just win the game here? Now I'm confused. Yeah, I think we just win the game here. So basically I win the game, you know, for my team. I think we go for the Megas here. Oh no, because we don't have tower. I think we go for the end here. Like this Tiny's not hitting towers for some reason. They use Glyph. They buy back. I don't want to go back because there's still 40 seconds on Tinker. So I'm going in. We don't have any detection. Wastes RP. This guy's not having a good game. We're kind of diving Fountain here. And this shit happens, so that's unfortunate for me. Because now I'm half HP. And then I think Tinker comes back, and he goes for the sleep, but Tinker has BKB, so he ends up surviving. And this is pretty bad, because I don't have buyback. I think I don't, at least. Oh, I do have buyback. But this is a little bit sketch, so yeah, don't go for the Fountain Dive, boys. So now I'm like, yo, don't die. Of course, then I'm like, Disruptor is griefing. And now it's getting a little bit sketch, but luckily they go back. Well, I had buyback anyway. But now it's like, damn, dude, they're back in the game. Even though it's 16k, it definitely feels like they're back into the game. We go for the smoke. And I swear to God, smokes win games. You just have to use them. We catch 2 supports here. We catch a Magnus here. And yeah, it's GG. I'm pushing in these creeps, so we have more creeps, you know. And then we just go for the base. And that's GG, and I'm immortal. So, luckily, I end up winning us the game. Just like always, you know. And now I'm immortal, baby. I'm back to immortal. So, boys, every time, you know, I peaked 5,800, and then I started fooling around a little bit, trolling, getting a little bit angry, getting a little bit tilted. You know, sometimes it's gonna happen, you know. And then I went back all the way to 5.2, and now I won 10 games in a row. I'm 56-60. On my way back. I'm playing good. I also get lucky a little bit with teammates. You know, sometimes you're gonna lose games no matter how well you play, because you know your team's gonna be trash. And it is what it is, and you just gotta accept it. But as long as you come back into the game, you're always fresh mindset, and you don't go down the rabbit hole where you're like, you lose 2,000 MMR. I hear these stories, man. These guys, they lose 2,000 MMR, and they're like, I used to be 7k, and now I'm playing in the 5k bracket, and I lose, like, you know, my support doesn't cover 1 bounty, so I'm gonna throw the game. Don't be that guy. Nobody likes that guy. Other than that, what can I say, baby? We back. We back up in this bitch, and we're gonna make it, boys. So, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.